Why build a creeper PC in absolute secrecy? Well, here's the thing. We heard celebrity PC builds were the new hotness, but we didn't want to fall into the classic trap where you promise someone something really cool and then you take a freaking year to deliver it. So anyway, PewDiePie started playing Minecraft again.
So we're gonna build a cake ladder.
I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, back when we initially conceptualized this. So we were like, heck yeah, let's do the greatest creeper PC build that's ever been done. But then now we're finally finishing it, and then the word on the street is he's quitting YouTube, but then he says he's not quitting YouTube, but then the last time he uploaded a Minecraft video was like 3 weeks ago. You know what, doesn't matter, who cares? We're building a creeper PC. The Docos V9 speakers on Alibaba feature rotating ear cups that double as a speaker. They've got their March Expo 2020 happening right now, which features more than 300,000 new and exciting products. So go check them out at the link in the video description. So let's go through how we made it, starting with the hardest part, which is the case. The skeleton was designed in Fusion 360 over a span of about a month with a couple of main design goals. One was we wanted there to be enough cooling for top spec hardware. I mean, the last thing you want to do is send someone a cool custom PC that ends up being a downgrade from what they're currently running. And we also wanted no cheating compromises to the creeper look. We weren't gonna allow ourselves to like, oh, well, you know, we need to extend this leg in order to fit a bigger graphics card or something like that.
So I started with a rough concept for what I wanted the creeper PC to look like. And once I figured out scale by taking the form factor of an MATX motherboard and plugging it into Fusion 360 and just scaling a creeper shape around it, then I could start building the actual frame from aluminum extrusion. So after I had the actual frame built and scaled properly, then I can skin it, put all the components in it, and pray it all fits together.
As a bonus goal, we wanted the head to pop off, like kind of like a, you know, like boom, you know, explosion moment with the press of a button, which I actually have right here. But I can't do right now because, as you can see, it's not built.
This head was by far the hardest part of this entire build. It went through like 3 design changes. So how it works now is there's 2 solenoid latches that are like for gate latches that clip into little tabs that I TIG welded into the bottom of the creeper head. So these guys, you can just come down and they'll pop right into place like so. And now it's latched and active. So once we give it power, off comes the head. Initially, it didn't have enough support. The head is just a little bit too heavy.
It's pretty heavy.
The first time I tested it, we have footage of this actually. The head pops off and it just goes, it flops all the way down. We can't have a flaccid creeper. No flaccid creepers. So there's limiting straps that I installed on each corner to keep it just floating just so, and without it falling off of the support axis in the center.
It was also really challenging getting the strength of the spring just right, because that jack-in-the-box effect requires you to get it balanced just right. I think you nailed it.
Go me.
So this is it, we just start building now, right?
Yeah.
So for our power supply, we actually didn't end up going with a full-sized ATX unit, even though we possibly could have. I guess this saves us a little bit of space where we could have mounted a hard drive in the front in emergency, but other than that, is there any rationale behind the 800-watt Silverstone SX800-LTI?
No, it's just a really nice, little, dense power supply. It's easier to fit.
So mounting for this, pretty straightforward. We've got some double-sided tape on the bottom here, but that's not actually what holds it together. What actually holds it in place is this bracket on the back here, which is a bent piece of sheet aluminum. And this looks like it was quite the finicky little piece to get right.
Well, thankfully I didn't have to make it.
Ah, our friends at ProtoCase?
Friends at ProtoCase.
It's good to have friends in fabrication places.
Sure is.
So do I get to do most of the building? You've already built it.
So it's really important we get this first little drop right, because once that tape goes down, it's not coming off. Oh, there it is.
A little lower, there it is. It's really nice working with ProtoCase on stuff like this too, just because they specialize in PC stuff, so you don't have to explain to them things like you know, why the spacing needs to be just so on a power supply mount.
Yeah. I actually used their template designer, which is really neat. It has cutouts for most of the stuff I used here. Being able to just draw in a motherboard and have all the holes be in the right space was fantastic. Push that down, power supply is in.
I think you're supposed to hold this tape for about 30 seconds. GPU.
We can do it. So, how the GPU is mounted is we have a little bracket I machined.
Yep.
We have Cable Mod to thank for these cables. See how flat those are?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It fits to within 1/8 of an inch.
Wow, that's really tight. Okay, so how does this go in here? This
just like
goes
that?
under there and that sandwiches it down.
And that's it.
That's it?
That's it. Before we tighten it,
Yep.
it's best now to do the power supply cables. So
got it.
We will punch these guys.
Hold on a second, we better do this peel too. That's a really unsatisfying peel. This is a really cool looking card though. So it's got a triple slot cooler. We weren't sure how much airflow we were gonna be able to get into this bottom foot. So it was all about making sure that our card has a really, really good cooler on it. But this is an RTX 2080 Ti. So basically as good as it gets for Minecraft with RTX. Let me give you a good angle on it here and then I can just drop it right into place.
Lovely.
Basically this is the spot and I can crank it down now then, right?
Yep.
So that's the only thing holding it in place. I am actually a little bit worried. We might, I've seen things in shipping that would make your blood curdle, hair curl. If we put like a U-shaped foam piece at the back, I'd feel a ton better and just glued that in. Vibrations and drops. So a lot of this mass, there's a lot of leverage here.
Yeah.
And it can actually rip the PCI plate right off the card. I've seen it.
You've seen that?
I've seen it. I've seen PCI Express slots ripped off motherboards.
Oh God.
And the PCI plate ripped off.
F's in chat.
Just you know, shipping to Alberta from here. How difficult would it be for us to fabricate a hold down strap for this as well?
It's taped. It's not going anywhere. You'd have to be really trying to have that dislodge.
I have seen power supplies ripped out of like standard cases, like the screws sheared off in shipping and banging around inside them. I love tape as much as the next person. But let's
well, good, because this whole thing is held together with tape.
think about it a little. All right, well, we might just have to put it on a pallet.
Yeah, I would not box this.
Okay.
No way.
All right, so that's in.
We can put the heart in.
So which way does it go on?
Standoffs here,
Okay.
and then 4 standoffs for the other side.
Oh, fantastic. So is this motherboard tray custom?
Yes.
Wow, did ProtoCase make that for us as well?
I designed it. ProtoCase cut that. That's actually steel, so it's a little bit more rigid.
Nice. That's a good call. So in terms of the hardware we're using, we're running a Maximus 7 Gene, so we went with MATX so that we could have a little bit more expandability. It's only got a single PCI Express 16X slot, but if you wanted to add 10 gigabit networking or whatever else down the line, we've got another 4X slot up here. It's got basically everything you could want built in on board: AC, Wi-Fi, USB 3, Type-C, blah, 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 et cetera, and more importantly, because we're not putting a hard drive in this, it's got a ton of M.2 expansion. So we've got a 2 terabyte MP600 in here. We've got room for another one here. And then this thing Colin's holding, this is their latest DIMM.2. Goes in here and holds another 2 M.2 drives. So that should be enough.
Plenty of storage.
Yep. Those are some big ol' screws. So we went pretty basic in terms of cooling. I'm not expecting him to overclock or anything like that. And given that we're running a 9900K, a single 120mm AIO with a replacement fan, we went with a Noctua fan. We want the whole system to be nice and quiet. Seemed like a pretty good bet. Now, I'm sure there are many, many of you that are gonna be like, he edits video, he does this, why didn't you go AMD? The answer is that we started planning this project like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
AMD didn't have anything that was top tier for gaming at that time. What do you want from us? Which way do you like the tubes?
So I have the
routed?
tubes sticking out just like that.
Like that way. Yeah, that should work. So what's really cool about having the cooling configured this way, with our thick rad and our 120mm fan actually pulling air and then blowing it out this way, is that the exhaust comes out around the head. So it's nice and dispersed. There's not gonna be like a hot zone near the computer. And the intake for this fan is gonna be drawing fresh air from the bottom over the M.2, the DIMM slots, the VRMs, and all that stuff. So it's gonna stay nice and cool.
And it's not just this fan. There are actually 2 80mm fans that are going to be pushing air up from the center.
Crotch cooling, TM. So this was one of our challenges. Right now, Felix has 64 gigs of RAM in his system, according to the information we were able to find. We didn't talk to him about this because we wanted it to be a surprise. Now this board, in spite of being MATX, only has 2 memory slots because it takes up so much room for all these M.2s. So we ended up needing to use these special TridentZ DC series memory modules. So these are basically like 2 sticks in one. So each of these is 32 gigs for a total of 64 gigs of DDR4 3200 CL14. That should be plenty for our Intel platform.
How much is one of those sticks of RAM?
$1,500-ish? Not for one, for 2.
And of course they're RGB.
Completely hidden.
This panel is going to be held on by magnets, so we actually can't have anything pressing on it. There we go. So you can see the crotch is more than just cooling. There's actually room for cable cutouts and PCI Express and stuff like that to run in between them, so that you don't really see it, but it has to run there. And there was no way to be true to the shape of the creeper without having a little bit of cheating in between here.
So that'll go in probably last.
Yep.
If we want to post it, we can just plug it all in and make sure it functions. We can verify that the head ejects. I ran all of these runs with string before I ordered the cables.
Okay.
It's got to be an easier way than that.
Not that I've found.
So this is the head ejection system. So what we have here is a remote relay. These are really cheap. I think it was like $8. Runs on 4 to 12 volts. But one of the problems I encountered with the solenoid system here is that when the spring force is pushing up on the latches here, there's so much spring force that you can't actually eject the head.
Right.
Yeah. So what we have here is we have 12 volt, then being sent into a boost converter, which ups this to like 18.5-ish volts. And then that overvolts these solenoids. And enough, and it works.
Okay.
Plug it in the power supply and Bob's your auntie.
This thing's friggin' heavy, dude. And I don't even have the panels on it yet.
Oh, watching you lift my project scares me. And lights. Hey.
Well, do we have a monitor or anything?
Oh yeah, I can pull one over. All the keystones, all the time.
Yeah, we've got like 1, 2, 3 unnecessary connections. All good, just had a cable and a fan there. That click, by the way, was the solenoids getting power.
You can do the honors.
Ah! And we're posted with all 64 gigs of RAM. Very nice. Okay.
Nice, okay. So we have no more components to put in it, so we want to deal with installing all of the buttons and stuff in our panels.
Sure.
And then the panels go on.
We vinyled over all these mounting holes for the rear I/O. So this is our power and this is going to be DisplayPort, but I'm going to need to just make a little hole. That's really tight with the vinyl in there. Okay. Need a nut. That is how finished it's going to look from the outside.
Love that.
That looks great. So this is this one then, hey?
That's correct, yep.
We're definitely going to need to adjust the position of the motherboard a little bit then.
So we're going to move it up with the main fasteners on both the rails,
yeah.
And then over will be with the PCB fasteners.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's do the vertical adjustment first.
Sure.
Which is...
You can just do that with a rubber mallet, right?
Actually, yeah, percussive maintenance. Send it.
No, really?
No. Bad Linus.
Oh, you know what?
What are we running into here?
I think we're running into a need to tap it. No.
It doesn't make sense. This should just slide. They're like locking themselves.
Yep.
Okay, we want to come down about 1/8 of an inch. That's bang on.
Tap it. I might have found one other small oversight. This nut interferes with this.
Oof.
That seems, Dremel fixable.
We'll notch it out.
That was bound to happen. Notch it out.
Hey!
Under normal circumstances, you would never grind metal, creating metal fragments inside a computer that's already built. But we feel like we've got everything masked off well enough. Yeah, it's got to come up a little higher. I can see it from here. Did I get it, or is it a little more? A little more. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of the build was like this. you put everything in place and you can design as much as you can in CAD, but when it all goes together, sometimes parts aren't the same size as what the CAD drawing is, or any number of things.
We got it this time?
Yeah, it's flush.
Okay, awesome. I know, you want the finish to be similar.
I can sleep soundly tonight now.
So display port, power, rear I/O. Done.
I think we're actually ready to...
Are we really close?
Yeah, we just start peeling panels and sticking them on.
Holy smokes. Well, not before we put the PCI Express connector back in.
We should do any final cable management.
Okay.
Well, the lich pin in this whole shebang is this middle panel.
Okay.
So the cutout side here fits over.
Should we do that first? I want to test fit before we take off the adhesive though.
Okay.
So 24, 8, and 2 PCIe.
I'm just worried about cable length.
They'll be fine, honestly.
Okay. Boop.
All right, I have done every surface on my side here.
I'm just gonna finish this side.
This VHB tape is like super sticky, so we don't want to be pulling things off once we've applied it because we could end up bending it. What's that?
It's a razor for pulling the VHB tape off.
Oh.
So this side is the PCI side.
Ha! Snuck that LTT logo in there.
We have a little bit of a cutout that was totally planned and not done after the fact.
Yeah.
To give a little bit of clearance for the ribbon cable.
That 120mm fan is going to take care of intake for our graphics card, which, does it have an exhaust or is it just passive exhaust?
So all the exhaust comes out the foot, out the bottom.
Ah, okay.
So they're elevated up on these little bumpers.
Yep, okay, perfect.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't take the adhesive backing off. Oh, I got it. Oh, no, you got it. There's ones up at the very top. Okay. All right, yep, everything's clear.
Up. Ribbon cables. A little stressed, but.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
it's quite contacted.
Yeah.
Well,
should we just bend it?
Yep.
That one's on for better or for worse. Just little tiny bit more. Ow, I'm good. Everything's fine. So that's on there. This way these cables can't come loose and stick into the fan or anything nasty like that. That would be a real pain to diagnose and fix. All right, shall we line up the other side?
I think we should just stick it and then run the cables.
Sure, yep, okay. You do bottom, I'll do top. Well, okay. Oh, I think that's a lot better than last time. We should have done that last time. That's like perfect.
We're living, we're learning.
That actually looks pretty darn sharp.
And it's worth noting, I haven't seen it with all the panels on it either.
Just needs to... That's just bubble wrap popping. Nice. Okay, that looks pretty clean because the 24-pin covers everything else now.
Yeah. What do you get a guy like PewDiePie for Christmas?
Someone asked me on Twitter, it's like, what do people buy you for Christmas? And I said, socks. I actually...
Truly the greatest gift.
Well, the fans on the bottom are hooked up. They're both into a single header that should have easy software control.
Okay, do you want to come back on this side and stick on the head ejection system?
Mm-hmm. Here we go. This is a sick build.
Thanks.
Do you still sell those?
Yes.
We sure do.
LTTstore.com.
LTTstore.com.
Can I actually get another one of those? LTTstore.com?
LTTstore.com.
I noticed that the power supply isn't plugged in yet.
Oh no.
If we grab the belt sander, let's see if our shaven power connector, oh nice, that went no problem. So that's plugged in now. I mean, do you want to do that one for, wait.
I'll sew that.
We didn't do it right.
We did not.
I don't know if I shaved it enough to fit through here. Or there.
We are professionals.
Oh, so I wanted it as far away from the PCI Express extender as I could get it.
Oh, you think power, like the frequency will?
I don't know for sure.
Gotcha.
But what I know is that I don't feel like dealing with it if that is a problem.
Yep, me neither.
Here, also I'll line up the bottom again, and you line up the top.
Okay.
I think that's as good as we're gonna get. Wow!
What should we do next, Linus?
Why don't we close up the feet?
I have an image of a creeper because I want to make sure we get the panels on in the correct orientation.
So you want to get the actual, like...
Pixels, yeah.
Pixels in the correct spots.
Oh, we're going for accuracy here.
All right, all right, all right.
Dark corner goes towards the side, yep.
Yep. Now seems like a good moment to shout out ProtoCase with their fantastic high precision laser cutting. They actually made all these panels for us before we had them sent off to the vinyl wrapping shop.
This head is a piece of art. It's all aluminum. and it's welded, sharp edges, and you can't weld it too fast, otherwise it'll just melt. So they're like slowly dabbing. We'll put in some footage of this. It's incredible. Is that guy on?
You better believe it.
These are different.
Yeah, we don't have pieces like that.
Why is the left different from the right?
One small error. All right, so I'll just put it on randomly then.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, no, that's too far off. Okay.
That's gonna happen a lot.
All right, I'm calling that good enough. I'm sorry if it's not good enough. Okay, so what's the foot? Is that the foot?
That is the foot. So we still end up with about 1 millimeter of gap on my side.
I can take a little more.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to live with that.
Yep.
Like that looks pretty darn good. All right, should we put a big panel on? Wait, no, this isn't the same. This is the front.
That's the back.
Minor problem. We put double-sided tape on the front piece and magnetic strips on the back piece. Just gotta take all this off. Are those really no good anymore?
Yeah, the adhesive's toast.
Okay.
And that's literally on there.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Those cables will never be seen ever again.
Bye-bye, cables.
Great. So we've now got magnets on the back of this panel.
Yep, but this is an aluminum chassis,
But
so
it's aluminum. I've made 4 neodymium magnet stacks, and I've counterbored 1/2-inch holes which fit these. So we just give this a little tap and we'll deform the aluminum around the magnet and it'll hold it in place.
oh, okay. Hey! Nice, that is quite flush, sir.
And then you're gonna wanna do probably 6 or 8 all around the periphery.
And it's dead. Can't make it worse. All right. Are you doing that by hand? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a spring-loaded thing. You're not doing it by hand.
Boop, and boop.
All right, so now we put the front on then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, nailed it.
Feel the edge?
It's done. Oh, wait, it's not done. Should have done this earlier. Wait, no, this is no problem because we thought of this.
Oh,
Gorgeous. Monitor, keyboard, mouse?
monitor, keyboard, mouse.
Let's do it. This thing seriously does look like just a computer graphic brought to life. Like it's crazy. Should I power it on? You even told me it might happen because I was busy with something else.
I'm so happy with how well that head retains itself. Like getting it to latch and release every time perfectly literally took 4 days.
Hey! If you were him, do you leave it down so that you can like do this on a whim? Or do you leave it up so you can just like,
Oh no, I totally leave it up.
You leave it up. We gotta like game on this thing.
Time for some
See
Minecraft?
if it actually works, yeah.
Worst case scenario, head down.
Head down.
Yep.
So I'm gonna hit the GPU with the MSI Combustor built-in stress test. And I'm gonna hit the CPU with a Blender Classroom render. Excellent. So we are turboing to 4.7 gigahertz all cores. Our CPU is sitting at anywhere from 80 mid to 90 low. Remember, this is under an all core load while stressing both the CPU and GPU. Our GPU is sitting pretty darn healthy actually, around 62, 63 degrees. I think it's safe to call that a success. I mean, we're gonna wanna leave this run for a little bit, make sure that it actually holds at these temps, but it seems like it's actually doing a perfectly good job of getting rid of the heat.
Yeah.
Great job, Colin. Wait! It really does just look like a piece of video game just sitting on your desk, doesn't it?
What just happened?
It turned off. I was trying to troll James. I was asking him how it looks up close, and I tried to trigger the head while it was under load. Current spike?
Current spike.
How power hungry is that?
It's pulling like 4 amps at 12 volts, so like 48 watts. It's only 50 watts, it's an 800 watt power supply. Maybe don't stress test it and hit the button?
I mean, that's kind of funny. Okay, we might have to live with this particular little design flaw.
It's a feature.
Let me see if it happens again. Let me see if it happens again. Full stress.
Pack it and send it.
I think the odds of that happening are pretty slim.
Yes, I have my job for another day.
Oh,
Ah.
66% chance. So then outside of a couple minor finishing touches, it's done. It's playing Minecraft. It looks like Minecraft. And it may not be the world's first creeper PC, but you know what? I think it's the best one. So come at me, bro. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of hacky, projecty type stuff, you might want to also check out our series on the Hack Pro, the Mac Pro Hackintosh competitor to Apple's real Mac Pro. We're gonna have that linked below. And I guess all that remains now is to thank our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Alibaba.com, featuring the Docos V9 2-in-1 headphone and speaker. It features 3 custom EQ presets, including balanced, extra powerful bass, and high definition sound, as well as Bluetooth 5.0. They've got interchangeable magnetic ear cups, and the headband is made of nylon with PVD plating. Alibaba.com offers a wide variety of suppliers from all over the world, from the US to China to Italy to India and more. We've actually used them before for all kinds of stuff, like when we got those bean bags. You guys know about that, right? It was cheaper for us to get 50 bean bags from a supplier on Alibaba than it was to buy the 15 that we needed locally. Anyway, check out the March Expo 2020 on Alibaba.com for more than 300,000 new products. March Expo 2020 is online only. Don't worry, all good. I can't believe we don't get to keep this now. I'm only gonna get to play with it a few more times. It doesn't crash when it's running Minecraft,
No,
right? You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, good. Because that'd be super awkward. Let's try one more time, Ready? It's good, right? Good, okay.